Today we'll have a look at this pen. Pen came in this fascinating pouch and it was sent to me by Jesse, and I appreciate it. A very interesting pen. This is an Indian pen, handmade, and it is the ASA, I'm just going to say ASA, I don't know if I'm supposed to say ASA, but I'm just going to say ASA, Sniper. And I found this a very fascinating model with a remarkably pleasant nib. So let's have a look at the pen. I'll cover the parts of the pen, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll do a writing sample. Okay, first of all, ASA, Indian company, makes this pen. You can find them online, ASA pens, and for this particular pen you can choose the material for the cap, barrel and section. As you can see, the cap and barrel on this pen are translucent, cloudy but translucent. Alright, start at the very top, the cap there, the finial, nothing going on there, nicely polished though. You can well, you can't really see the nib, but you can see that it's well polished. It's very smooth and reflective. I'm trying to capture the window there. You have a clip. Clip is very nice, very springy. Really works well. And of course you can see the silhouette of the section through that cap because it's a black section. I think it's a good choice. Then you have the barrel. The barrel says ASA Sniper. Well, that is, it says Sniper. And at the bottom it says ASA Pens India 2015. Barrel tapers down nicely, and you're talking about a pretty sizable pen here. This is not a small one. Cap unscrews, and that's a pleasant action. Works well. And then you have this section. Section is hooded. Some of you may immediately think of the Lamy 2000, so did I. So a hooded, maybe semi-hooded nib, I would say. You can see a bit of the feed there, and that section that really feels like the Lamy 2000 material, Macrolon material. Now you have a very fine fissure right there. I don't know how well you can see this. I'm trying to capture it in the light. I'm assuming that has something to do with the manufacturing process. And then you have a... I'm not going to open it because, as you can see, I have it eyedroppered. It does hold a nice large amount of ink, pretty big barrel, and this barrel it ends there, so you get this nice ink effect, which I enjoyed. You can purchase a converter separately for the pen, and the whole pen is in the, I thought it was something like 50-55 euro range. Depends a little bit on the options you pick. You can upgrade the nib to a German nib, which I'm pretty sure this is. I don't know if this is a medium or a broad, but it lays down a nice line. And I have to admit that I was very pleasantly surprised by the nib. A lot of Indian pens I've used have very rigid and often quite scratchy fine nibs, but this is a really nice upgrade because the nib is very pleasant to use, very smooth, very wet and juicy. I think it's very well done. Okay, handmade pens, so that's always nice. As I said, big. You have a big pen, nice tapered section, comfortable to hold, but large, and posted really large. So, interesting. What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? I like the size. I've seen a lot of fairly small Indian pens. This one is definitely bigger, and as a lover of more oversized pens, I really think ASA pens did a very good thing here. A very good job in selecting a pen that is big, pleasant to use, but not overly huge. I have also used some Indian pens that are really big and massive, to the point where they start to look a little absurd, but this is still usable. It's definitely big but usable. I like that. I like the material. I like the cloudiness of the material, and I like the polish they did, because it is not a mirror smooth finish. The end bits on the barrel and the cap are, but the barrel has a bit of texture to it, which is very pleasant to the touch, I must say. I like how it works. I like the clip is very pleasant. You can see it is folded steel, but it works very well. Very springy, snaps back very well. I've put quite some pressure on it. So I like that. I like the way it's put together. I like the size, and the balance is also quite pleasant. Fairly light, of course, because it's all there's very little metal parts on this, but it works well. Okay, things I don't like about it so much. Well, there are a few. This is not entirely a fair point because more demonstrator type pens have this, but I definitely got quite some ink in the cap, and of course being a transparent or semi-transparent cap, you can really see that ink in there. But as I said, not entirely fair because that's not unique to this pen. What I did have is a little bit of leakage. Now that may mean, ink leakage, that may mean I just need to put some more silicone grease around the threads there. I also don't know if the leakage actually, I don't think it occurred at that little seam there. I think it was really down here where the barrel and section meet. So probably my fault. I have to add in a little bit more silicone grease, but just sharing this is something to be aware of. Now finally, the hooded design, it's not for everyone. I have to admit I enjoy seeing my nibs, so I would really like it if it would be possible to get this pen with a non-hooded nib, but just have the whole nib out. I think that's, you know, personally I would like that a bit more. Having said all of that, I think it's a very interesting pen. I know it is not an ultra cheap one, especially as far as Indian pens go, some of which are very inexpensive, but you are buying a quality product, not just because it's handmade, but it's made well, and especially with the German nib upgrade, you do get a pen that writes really well and really pleasantly. Okay, Jesse, thanks a lot for sending me this pen. I appreciate it. I am going to do a writing sample next. Pen dimensions will be on the website sbrebrown.com, as well as high-resolution pictures of the pen and writing sample. Writing sample is coming up now. Hope this was useful so far, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye-bye. Okay, so here we go with the ASA Sniper. The nib, I think, is a medium, and the ink is Private Reserve American Blue. Okay, writing, fairly smooth. There is some feedback, but I don't think it's necessarily bad feedback. It's that type of, I'm using a fountain pen feedback. I have no idea what that sound was. Nice wet writer. You can see that even if I go really fast, it still keeps flowing, so that's quite impressive. As I said, fairly wet. So that's a really juicy flow. Line variation, well, there is a bit. It's definitely wet enough to keep up. Being semi-hooded, you can't push it too hard though, but you can definitely see there is some line variation. For those of you who enjoy such a thing, this nib is wet enough to turn over and use upside down, and then you go from, I would say, a good medium to a fine. Okay, well, Jesse, thanks a lot for sending me this pen. I really appreciate it. Guys, I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye-bye.